customers are generally or consumers are generally becoming much more demanding.
Yeah.
They have much more freedom of choice. They are typically less brand loyal.
So we have 5 times 4 increase in the profit. We have reached more than $1 billion. Our expectation is that the future is actually biometric. Basically, you can come to the shop and pay by showing your face to the cashier. We don't want our clients to think about us as a bank. We want them to think, if I need to do something, I go to the smartphone and I go to Privat24 and I find it there. Those who will survive, they will be not the pure banks. Actually, I visit the branches and I even talk to the clients in the branches, because this is something what for me is very important.
So, Petr, pleasure to meet you.
It's my pleasure.
Let me start off by giving you a little overview of why we're here today. The KPMG Review Magazine. I don't know if you had a chance to read it yourself.
Yes, I had, and I like it very much.
Great. I mean, for us, this is our opportunity to really help our clients to understand what's at the forefront of business, and how innovation is changing business models, and how our clients should be thinking about the trends in the individual sectors, and really trying to provide thought-provoking and insightful commentary to our readers. So hopefully today's interview will do the same.
Well, I would be very happy if I can contribute to that, and I hope that PrivatBank is actually one of the clients that can have some added value to your magazine.
Well, I'm sure it will do. So, I mean, let's start off. I mean, clearly, PrivatBank is the largest bank in Ukraine, and also state-owned. So, I mean, what does that mean for you? You know, it clearly has a key role to play in the national economy, but how do you balance the conflicting demands between the stakeholders of the public and also the customers?
Well, I wouldn't say that actually these are conflicting requirements, because for the government, what is the most important is on one side the value of the bank and the contribution to the state budget. On the other side, the potential to receive back the funds that were misappropriated from the bank in the past. And most of that actually is very well linked to our clients, because the more the clients will be happy with the bank, the more they are going to use the services, then of course the portfolio is going to grow, the profit is going to grow, and the value of the bank is going to grow. And that of course is going to satisfy the government, who is the 100% shareholder.
What have been the biggest challenges that you've had to face in your role, and how was your previous experience of working in Asia, Europe, and obviously in Ukraine before PrivatBank helped you to address those challenges?
Well, if we talk about the challenges, one of the challenges is obvious. This is not one institution, these are actually 2 in 1. You have the bad bank with all the bad loans related to the former shareholders, and at the same time you have very modern, innovative bank that is one of the innovation leader in Europe, not only in Ukraine. And there is a challenge, because of course these 2 things influence each other, and it is not easy to divide not only the time but also the effort and the concentration of the team in these 2 directions.
I mean, it's certainly been, from my own personal perspective, the banking industry in Ukraine does seem to be more advanced than some of what I see back in the UK, for example. So the adoption rates seem to be, or customers seem to be more accepting of the innovation here.
I absolutely agree. Like many banks, it's not only about the PrivatBank, are more developed than majority of the banks in Europe. What is the reason? There is a kind of jump where the people, because they do not have access to the traditional, they didn't have the access to the traditional banking services in the past, they started to look for the alternatives. And those banks that were able to make this jump primarily in terms of the technology, in terms of the services and the products, then of course they were able to get a lot of clients, and the market developed in that direction. So yes, PrivatBank is more innovative than majority of the banks in the European market, but this is part of our culture, this is part of our DNA, because we want to be like that. And what we consider important is that we do not see ourselves just as a bank. What we do, or how we present ourselves, is that we are actually an IT company with banking license.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting you say that, because I mean, it's clearly, as we look across a number of sectors, there's this continuing convergence and blurring of the lines between them. So you're comparing yourself as an IT company as well as being a bank. And who do you see as being the sort of key challenges or threats to the banking industry in Ukraine in that context?
Well, I wouldn't say that there are like specific challenges. If we look at the banking market in Ukraine, then the main challengers on one side are the banks themselves, because we have a few banks that are very well developed and very innovative. On the other side, the banks themselves are also the threat to the banking industry, because we have a lot of banks, and this is not specific to Ukraine, this is the same in other countries, where the banks actually want to keep their status quo. They want to be the traditional, good, conservative institutions. And for many of them, I think that this will be a big problem in the future, because the clients, and especially the young generation, they are not looking for these traditional banking services. They have a different approach. They want to get something else, something more.
Mm-hmm. We see that there are these differences between the demographics, but what does that mean? So in Europe, for example, we've seen large-scale reductions in the number of branches, the branch networks,
mm-hmm.
and optimization there.
Yeah.
We're now getting to the point where in some countries actually governments are intervening and saying, well, actually, you can't be just only one post office or one
mm-hmm.
bank branch left in a particular town or city. How do you see the branch network having a role to play in PrivatBank in the future?
Okay. If you look at our branch network, then actually among the banks, this is the second biggest on the market. We do not decrease the number of branches, though there are some marginal decreases. Our goal is to find the proper locations and optimize the branch network in such a way that they are most useful and comfortable to be used by the clients. Mm-hmm. We should keep them also because this is a unique sales point, and we have seen it in other countries by some internet banks that actually failed because they thought that they can be internet only, and it didn't work. The clients want to communicate to somebody. The clients want to get advice that to get through the electronic channels is not always optimal. And the clients actually like to come somewhere, and they want to check sometimes that the entity actually exists. Because yes, you can have some internet-based provider, but does it still exist? Is it still in place? You may have heard about the strategy that is called O2O. Online to offline, or offline to online, whatever we use. The institutions or the companies that were internet-based only, they understood that it doesn't work, and they started to build actually physical places, physical locations where the clients can come. And the same on the opposite. There were institutions or companies in the past that had only the physical shops, and they understood that it doesn't work because the clients sometimes just want to browse through the internet site and to look for the services, to look for the products, maybe to purchase something. So this concept O2O is something what we develop. So we go on one side by keeping, developing and optimizing of the branch network, and on the other side developing the online presence.
Trying to analyse what are those success factors in particular markets or sectors which could be replicable to them, and then
yep.
trying to drive those home as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we do actually. I have a innovation team that is scouting through different countries and is looking for the success stories in the financial services area, and not always only in the financial services area. And they are trying to find what we can use and what we can develop on our side. We don't want to be bank. I mentioned that we consider ourselves being an IT company with the banking license, but you should know, like, we are an institution that is actually the biggest seller of the tickets on the Ukrainian market. Is it typical for the bank? Not at all. We offer to our clients entertainment, like Apple Music, like movies from Netflix. Is this a banking product? Not at all. So what we try to do is to create a platform that would make customer experience better, that would basically give to the client what they expect, what they want. When you are a client, you don't think, I want to go to the bank. You think, I need to do something. And our goal is that for the Ukraine, when client wants to do something, actually what should come to his or her mind is, okay, there is some Privat24, there is the online platform, and I should have a look because with the high probability I can get it there.
And how does that permeate down through the organisation? I mean, are staff themselves sort of incentivised around how they can think about innovation that would either impact the way they work or things that the bank offers to the customers? There's always this dynamic of trying to get the right innovation mindset and structure in an organisation, not just in terms of a senior leadership team.
Well, like you have asked about the innovation team. This is one part of the structure. But what we try to do is to have a culture, to have a culture that the people first would be motivated and would be excited about doing something new. The people that work in banks usually they come, and this is the same administrative work every day. No, we want the people to think different way. We want them to think what I can do different, what I can develop, what I can suggest, and we support it. So we have some kind of like internal startup competition or innovation competition, and what we do, and this is extremely appreciated by the staff and helps us to develop the bank to the future. We do twice a year competition of the ideas or the innovations that were developed by the people that are throughout the organization. And those who are the best, they are appreciated. And actually what we do, we send the winners of this competition to Stanford University, and they can learn and be even better.
PrivatBank is at the forefront of innovation in the banking sector. For you, I mean, what has been some of the most significant shifts that you've seen in the banking sector because of innovation in recent years?
Like if you look at ourselves, yes, what we try to do at the moment on one side is to put everything on the smartphone. The idea is that the smartphone is the interface that should be able to give you all services that you need. But we think that in the future the situation will be even different. The current situation is that the people move from cash to plastic, to the credit card. Then you have the next step, that's it. Then the people are moving from the plastic, from the credit card to the mobile phone. So what will be next? And our expectation is that the future is actually biometric. So what we are working on, and here we have several teams in the bank that are involved in the development of biometrics in different way. Basically, in which process we can use biometrics to identify the client, that actually in the future maybe you don't have your smartphone with you, maybe it is broken, maybe it's out of energy, maybe you lost it, but you need something. You need to buy something, you need to get the money, you need to pay somewhere. So what we try to do now is to look for the possible application of biometrics in every possible area of our business and to see how we can move forward in that area. Because this is what we expect is the future.
And what's your expectation in terms of time horizon for that future?
Well, I would say 1 to 2 years. We have already now, actually, about 2 months ago, we have started a pilot with a system that we call FacePay. Basically, you can come to the shop and pay by showing your face to the cashier, not to the cashier, but to the equipment that the cashier has. And you can pay with that. Like at the moment we are in the phase of the pilot, so you can use it in 3 companies, but it works, and we are now getting the practical experience with how to make it more user-friendly, how to make it more efficient, and this is the future. So we are moving to the future. I don't want to say that we are there, because there is a lot of things that we have to take care about, but the future is coming. And the smartphone again is some step where everybody goes at the moment, but we are trying to look one step ahead. Yeah, what's the next?
Perhaps you could also tell me a little about your own management style. I mean, how would you describe that? Who and what has influenced the way that you manage?
My management style? Well, this is a difficult question. I think that it would be better to ask the other people. What I try to do is to, first of all, give the power to the people to work independent. Why is that? I try to create the teams that have the experts, that have the people that are the best in their area. And then, of course, my role should be not to tell them what to do. They are supposed to be better than me. So what is my management style is to coordinate them, to help them to work together, to create a strategy, but at the same time to control them. And some people say that I'm micromanager. In some countries, yes, I am. Like in Ukraine, I'm considered micromanager, and in the local culture, I am.
I think the differences between how different cultures perceive management styles and also what they expect themselves from people that lead them has an impact on sort of how you end up managing. And what is it you look for yourself in terms of the qualities of a leader?
Qualities of the leader? First of all, common sense. Many people say, well, why common sense? Everybody has that. Not everybody has that. This is actually something what sometimes is very difficult to find, because I need that the people are ready to solve unusual situations, that they are able to react on a situation that are not expected. And for that, usually the knowledge, the education, nothing from that will help you. You need to have common sense and to think how to move forward, what to do. So this is one thing I'm looking for. Another thing I'm looking for is motivation. I believe that if the person is motivated, the person can learn a lot, the person will be dedicated, the person will go after the result, the person will work together with the team. Motivation for me is another key. Third thing, I would say the communication, the teamwork, because today, in today's world, very few people can work alone. You are usually part of the team, and you have to work together with other people. So the ability to communicate with the others is essential. So I would say that these 3, common sense, motivation, and this one.
So Peter, to wrap up what has been for me a very interesting conversation with you, what I'd really like to understand from you is what do you think, or who do you think the winners will be in the banking industry in the future?
Okay, who will be the winners? Good question. Depends on the point of view. So, of course, we can take the financial point of view. So, the winners will be those who will make a lot of money. But there are prerequisites, and what does it mean to make a lot of money? It is, at the end of the day, it's about customer experience, because you need to have the clients that want to be your clients, that want to use your products, your services. And this is something what is the key, and this is the key for the future. And there are expectations. We discussed earlier that the expectations are different by demography, by age, by country. So I wouldn't say that there is a one model how to go forward. You have another expectations in Europe, in the United States, in Asia. You have another expectation of the people who are 40, who are 20. And you need either to find the segment that you want to serve, or you need to create different services that actually will be customized for each of the segment that you want to serve.
Do you think that there's a risk that digital first strategy that many businesses, not just PrivatBank, have, there's a risk of alienating a generation of customers? Because clearly not everyone is already mobile first. And how do you balance that?
Well, this is, you have to offer different types of services. And you can see it very well in our portfolio. We have a large branch network. Why? Because there are millions of customers that actually don't want to be served via the mobile phone. They want to come to the branch, they want to get the cash at the counter, they want to talk to somebody, and this is the way they expect to be served. And you need to have this service for them. You have another customers who just don't want to click somewhere or do something or go to ATM or something. They just want to go to the phone, push the button, and the things are done. And these are different expectations. And what is the challenge is to meet the expectations.
So the winners will be those that can meet the expectations of a varied customer group.
Yeah, like you need to find who you want to serve, what is the segment. You need to find out what they want, and this is what you can do only when you work with them, and then to create the service to meet this expectation. This is why I think that for every top manager it's very important to understand the business, and this is why when I travel across the country, actually I visit the branches, and I even talk to the clients in the branches, because this is something what for me is very important. The people tell me, like, I don't like this, I don't like that, and this is actually what I appreciate. This is what I use. So I am getting the feeling, and this is very important for me as a top manager for the development of the strategy. If I will just talk to my team, it is not enough, because my team sees that by their own eyes. I need to understand the business by eyes of the customer. Yep. And for that, what I do on my side, I go to the branch, I talk to the customer, I talk to the people in the branch that actually serve the clients every day, and they tell me things that are very important for me, and this is the base for the development of the strategy of the bank for the future.